do it. And then we push through it. We're 100 men strong. You should be afraid. I ain't even broke a sweat. I could do this all day. I want the world to know my name.
Right now, today, one play at a time, and let's know who we are.
Wimbush sees space, takes off, got the 10, get the 5, get it, then touchdown! Right to the goal line, but free by Gilman. It's loose, and it will be recovered for a touchback by Love.
Wimbush is having a night. And the pass is intercepted. Love go! Touchdown! Claypool, touchdown. Happy New Year! Dalen Hayes slings him out of bounds. Silver first it. Dug out. Tranquil.
Welcome to Inside Notre Dame Football, presented by TireRack.com. Along with former Fighting Irish quarterback Evan Sharpley, I'm Darren Pritchett. Notre Dame is 3-0 after beating Vanderbilt 22-17 at Notre Dame Stadium. Evan, the Fighting Irish have been looking for an offensive identity. Did they find it today?
I think so. You saw more north-south running today. That was the big thing in my mind. Tony Jones got going with over 100 yards today. Brandon Wimbush was close to that 100-yard mark as well. So great execution by the offensive line. They were able to control the line of scrimmage for most parts of the game, and running the football is kind of their MO, I think, and that's where we're going to see them continue to move forward with.
At times today, Vanderbilt had success throwing the football, but when you look at the total game, the Irish secondary, specifically the corners, had a very good day with some game-changing plays.
You only give up 17 points. It's a pretty good game. Julian Love had a great game breaking up passes. Troy Pride had a great game breaking up passes. And if you look at Alohi Gilman, probably the game-changing play was his strip at the goal line. This defense was able to get off the field and make plays when they had to.
So the Irish win by 5 over Vanderbilt. Let's go to the first half highlights at Notre Dame Stadium, the third all-time meeting between the Irish and the Commodores. Notre Dame 2-0 against Vanderbilt. Opening drive, a design run for Brandon Wimbush, 9 yards to the Commodore 38-yard line. That sets up a Justin Yoon 25-yard field goal. 10 plays, 74 yards. The Irish led 3-0. Third straight game, the Irish have scored on the opening drive. Vanderbilt's first possession, 3rd and 3. Senior quarterback Kyle Shermer completes the pass, but Drew Tranquil comes down with the tackle to stop that drive. Ian Book enters the ball game for the Irish on offense. He finds Brock Wright for the first down.
This is a package the Irish coaches like with Ian Book. They've handed it off quite a bit. Today was a new wrinkle, some play action, move the pocket.
Wimbush to Tony Jones Jr., 24 yards to the Vanderbilt 27-yard line.
Jones has a free release here, which means he doesn't have pass protection. Brandon Wimbush steps up in the pocket, makes a great throw. Awesome pickup.
Eventually, it's 3rd down and 10 from the Vanderbilt 12. Wimbush wants to throw, nothing there, so he runs right, gets inside the 5, and spins into the end zone for his 16th career rushing touchdown.
Another great job by Brandon Wimbush, working through his progressions. Robert Hainsey edges here, and then Michael Young with a tremendous block to get Wimbush into the end zone.
15 plays, 94 yards. It's 10-0 Notre Dame going to the second quarter. Shermer to throw, and he is hit by Jerry Tillery. The ball comes free. The Commodores recover the fumble. 3rd sack of the year for Tillery. Tony Jones Jr., 20 yards, plus a personal foul against Vanderbilt, and the Fighting Irish are in scoring range. Justin Yoon converts a 33-yard field goal halfway through the second quarter. It's Notre Dame 13, Vanderbilt nothing. Shermer to throw. He hits Donovan Tennyson, gets inside the 5, and Alohi Gilman strips the ball away. The ball pinballs around, and eventually in the end zone. The ball's recovered by Julian Love.
Play of the game right here for me. Alohi Gilman comes in there and says, I want that ball, and he took it away. Game-changing play here.
Irish still led 13-0 over Vanderbilt. The Irish would add on a 46-yard field goal by Yoon. He moves into second place in scoring in Notre Dame history. Late in the second quarter, 16-0 Notre Dame. credit Vanderbilt. They move the ball down the field quickly, and they pick up a field goal by Riley Gay. His dad, Bruce, played hockey at the University of Notre Dame. Halftime score, it's Notre Dame 16 and Vanderbilt 3. As we take a look at the first half stats, a very good first half on third downs for Notre Dame.
Yeah, they did a great job on the money down. You look at rushing yards here too. They rushed for 163, time of possession, almost 5 minutes more. They were able to control the line of scrimmage. I think both on offense and defense really set the tone early on.
So the Irish led 16-3 at halftime. We'll take a look at the second half highlights coming up in just a moment as Inside Notre Dame Football continues, presented by TireRack.com.
Inside Notre Dame Football is presented by TireRack.com and brought to you by Team Notre Dame partners, Coca-Cola, Under Armour, and Gatorade. Inside Notre Dame Football is also brought to you by Vivid Seats, Canon, Xfinity, Nissan, Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, and SiriusXM.
And welcome back to Inside Notre Dame Football, presented by TireRack.com. I'm Darren Pritchett, joined by former Fighting Irish quarterback Evan Sharpley. Notre Dame entered the third quarter leading Vanderbilt by a score of 16-3. Let's check out the second half highlights from Notre Dame Stadium. Vanderbilt, their second drive of the third quarter. Their senior quarterback, Kyle Shermer, wants to go deep. He throws into double coverage, and the ball is picked off by Troy Pride Jr., his second career interception.
Shermer, who showed great poise pretty much the entire game, looked like he got a little greedy here. Troy Pride does a nice job of forcing the receiver an inside release, really gives it a difficult decision then for the quarterback, comes back to make a great play. Overall, this defensive backfield, I think, continues to trend up.
Commodores take advantage of a short field. Vaughn, a 3-yard touchdown run. Notre Dame 16 and Vanderbilt 10 as we move to the fourth quarter. Brandon Wimbush for Notre Dame lobs it down the right sideline for Tony Jones Jr., who picks up 32 yards.
You saw this play early on. This is a blitz zone scheme by Vanderbilt. Great job of recognizing it. Brandon Wimbush makes him pay.
4 plays later, 4th and inches from inside the 5. Wimbush, the sneak, picks up the first down. Ian Book back into the ball game for the Fighting Irish. 1st and goal from the 2. Play action. He finds Nick Wisher for the touchdown.
Once again, here's this blue zone package for Ian Book. The coaches have a lot of confidence in what he can do. Awesome play action, great execution at the line of scrimmage. We have a touchdown.
First point scored by Notre Dame in the fourth quarter this year. Shermer goes back to work, and he gets Vanderbilt into the end zone. Jared Pinkney, the 18-yard touchdown reception. 22-17 Notre Dame midway through the fourth. Michael Young on the ensuing kickoff. He scampers 48 yards to the Notre Dame 49-yard line. A chance to add on, but Justin Yoon misses from 32 yards. The Irish still led by 5 points with under 4 minutes to go. On 4th down, in Notre Dame territory, Shermer lobs the ball down the left sideline. The pass was incomplete. Vanderbilt one final chance after a punt. They try to lateral the ball. It fails, and Notre Dame ends up recovering the loose ball, and the Fighting Irish close out Vanderbilt 22-17.
We look at these final stats right here. They're pretty even. And when it comes down where it's very even, if you're looking at red zone scoring, turnovers, third down efficiency, it comes down to who makes more plays. And Notre Dame was able to make one more play tonight, and they come out victorious.
The Irish are 3-0. They'll head to Wake Forest for a matchup against the Demon Deacons next Saturday. More coming up on Inside Notre Dame Football, presented by TireRack.com.
We're in Coach Kelly's office right after Notre Dame's gritty victory over Vanderbilt. You challenged your team on Tuesday this week that they needed to get tougher. How did they respond?
Well, I think it started in their preparation. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they recognized that to play this game on Saturdays, you have to embrace the grind. You have to get out there, you have to put in the time, you have to put in, really some physical work to be ready for Saturday, and I thought they did a great job.
No one on this team was happy with the way you ran the football last week. You came out from the very first drive and established the running game today.
Yeah, that was a big point of emphasis, obviously. And anytime you're playing a good opponent, like an SEC opponent, you want to be challenged that way. And so I thought it was certainly one of the bright spots from today, and get that physicality back in our offense because we're going to need it throughout the season.
It seemed like Brandon Wimbush made lots of very good decisions today and made a lot of plays for you, including a big touchdown run.
He's a good decision maker. It was an anomaly last week. He knew it. He took ownership in it, and we moved past it because we really trust him that he's going to make good decisions. So, again, I think we're trying to feature what he is as a quarterback, and when we do that, good things happen.
Good passer and good runner. Your most experienced runner. But Tony Jones in that young backfield, huge step with his first career 100-yard rushing game.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I thought that they did some really good things, saw the holes, were much more decisive in week 3. And again, I think they're just starting to kind of find their own as we kind of plow through this schedule.
You knew Kyle Shermer would have a good game, one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC, and he did, but very rarely in this game did your defense ever break.
Yeah, no, I thought he did some really good things. He was under duress, made some good throws. He's got some receivers that maybe don't have, top-end speed, but boy, they can catch the football. And, the offense is set up for him to throw the football, and they did a very good job. But, we held them in check and were able to, make the big stops when we needed.
After most games, you can pick somebody on each side of the ball who excelled. But right now, especially on defense, it's a team effort. It's hard to single out a few guys.
Well, you could probably bring up Tavon Coney every week. You could probably play Julian Love every week, Alohi Gilman. Like we're saying, we could probably go on and on. But that's what makes a really good defense. If you have guys at all 3 levels, at the D-line, linebacker, and defensive backfield, you're probably in for some good play.
Moments ago in this locker room, your punter, Tyler Noose, who averaged a school record 59.6 yards per kick, with every kick over 50 yards, got the loudest ovation I have ever heard a team give its punter.
Well, keep in mind, he was named captain by his peers, too. He's well respected for who he is and what he represents on a day-to-day basis, and it was great to see him put it all together. He was big. Right to the very end, where he kicks at 59, 60 yards late in the game and really decides the end of the game for us. So great to see him have that kind of success.
And in terms of building blocks, what kind of a block is today's victory for this team?
Well, that they know who they are, right? They know that 2 out of the 3 weeks when they've played quality opponents, not that Ball State is not, but physically, going up against a Michigan, physically going up against an SEC team, that they know what they're capable of. They also know what our weaknesses are. So we're starting to get a feel for who we are. We're a blue-collar football team. We're not flashy. We have to continue to work on our weaknesses, but this is a team that plays hard. We'll have a chance to win all the games they play. And we got to clean up some of the little things. Turn field goals into touchdowns. We've had that a couple of weeks now, especially against Michigan too. And defensively, we have a couple of things that happen to us that we can, get better at. I think if we do that, we can have a really good team.
Julian Okwara got the start today at defensive end. He picked up a couple of tackles, and he's standing by with Fighting Irish Media's Jack Nolan.
Thanks, guys. Back on the field with Notre Dame defensive end Julian Okwara. This defense has had to make big play after big play throughout the first 3 weeks of the season. How have you guys been able to be so solid?
We just revert to our technique and just going to the plan and just sticking to our technique. That's what keeps us going. We can listen to the coaches, and the coaches just tell us what to do. And if you stick to that plan, we'll come out. We'll be all right.
I know that last year, pass rush was a bit of a concern. This year, you guys are getting to quarterbacks. You're making their job difficult. What's changed?
Like I said, just sticking to a plan, and coaches tell us every time, if you stick to a plan, everything will work out in your way. So once we do that, we just keep working for it, and it just comes to you.
How do you think you've improved?
I definitely think I've improved strength-wise in the run game, and because that's definitely something I struggled with last year, on first and second down, and being able to take the off-season, get stronger, be able to hang out with the other guys out there, definitely improved a lot.
All right, let's talk about the rest of that defensive line. And what I like today, it was hot down here again. You guys keep rotating. You finally have the depth that you haven't had. How much of a difference does that make with your ability to not only stop the run but get to the quarterback?
Coach Elson always tells us a couple plays and you'll be out in a second. So if you give it your all for 5-6 plays, we got other guys that come help you out, and we got a great group of guys D-line, and our second guys who rally and come in. They could go out there and make plays, and definitely helps us keep the guys fresh.
Notre Dame took a risk on me, I guess, really before most other people did. I hadn't punted in a game yet. I had just kicked field goals in high school. They emailed us 4 days before camp, so I called my dad, my aunt works for Southwest, and she ended up getting us some buddy passes. And then we get to the flight, and they said, sorry, flight's full, you can't get on. And I said, well, all right, let's go home, Dad. And he said, no, stick around, we might get on. So 5 minutes before the plane takes off, a woman comes out and says, you guys are on, these people didn't show up. So that day, we, walked around campus, and I said to myself, I said, wow, if I can come to Notre Dame, God willing, I'm coming here. I said, this is the pinnacle. And the next day we had the camp, and that day they had 4 guys. They chose them to go punt in front of Coach Kelly, and I wasn't one of them. Coach Elliott that day, he was watching the rest of us, and he grabs me after we were all punting. We had a punt competition down there and ended up winning that. And he said, hey, you can come with me. I'm putting you in front of Coach. I don't care what they say. And that day, Coach Kelly said, hey, come to my office after our camp. He sits me down in his office, and he looks at me, he goes, you had a pretty good day today. I said, yeah, it was pretty good, pretty happy with how it turned out. And he goes, yeah, well, we want to offer you a scholarship. I said, my jaw kind of dropped. I didn't know what to say for 10, 15 seconds. I was sitting there and just saying to myself, wow. So I said, Coach, I'm an open book. I got to tell you, he said, look, I hadn't punted in the game yet. I want you to know that I'm not. He said, yeah, I know, we're going to take a big risk on you. So I said, all right. I stood up, I shook his hand, I said, Coach, I'm do everything I can to make sure this risk pays off for you. And I think that's one of the things that drives me to this day is I made a promise to him, and I gave him my word. I said, I'm gonna do everything I can, and I think that's something that drives me too.
Let's take a look at the Vivid Seats Play of the Week.
Trey Ellis is back. Newsom gets rid of it and hits an absolute rocket. Oh, what a kick. 63 when the chips were down to the 5-second mark. Tyler Newsom, job well done.
It's time for the Tire Rack Question of the Week for Coach Kelly. This week's question comes from Jamita Potter from Granger, Indiana. Coach, what is the best and worst part of your job?
Well, I think the best is obviously watching kids develop, when they come in here and, they're kind of sorting it out, figuring out, Notre Dame and the academics and the community and football. The toughest part is when you lose a kid like Sean Crawford, who's, seen all that growth and football is taken away from him. That's the hardest part. But, there's many more that kind of balance that off, and you just make sure that, Sean supports you along the way. But that's definitely the best part in the worst.
Well, Evan, the Irish have won by 7, 8, and 5, so Irish fans stock up on antacid tablets because this football team's going to have to grind out victories.
Yeah, look at the strength and conditioning program, though. I think that they're going to be set up for success. They've done a nice job of getting stronger, more conditioned, and they've got the depth to do it on both sides, offensively and defensively. Big test here coming up, going on the road. I liked going on the road as a player. I think you approach it kind of like a business trip. It comes at a good time in the season, but I think we're going to continue to see these types of wins. And as long as they're wins, Darren, I think Irish fans are going to be all right.
Wake Forest coming off a home loss at the hands of Boston College, 41-34, so the Demon Deacons are 2-1 entering the matchup against the Fighting Irish. And a win is a win in college football. Look what happened today. Number 6 goes down as Wisconsin loses to BYU, and Auburn falls to LSU. So it's one of those survive and advance seasons for this Fighting Irish football team. Continue to win. Take care of your business and don't apologize for winning close games.
Yeah, years down the road when you're looking at this year, you're not going to care what the score was, as long as you're racking up wins in that column. Everyone's going to be happy. Certainly, you want it from a week-to-week basis to continue to get better, but at the end of the day, make sure that you're taking care of business with a W.
Finally, you just got to take a look at this football team. From the end of the Ball State game to the end of the matchup against Vanderbilt, this team got better, and that's all that matters right now.
Darren, still a 5-point win, but I feel a little bit better. I think today there were some positive steps on both sides. And if the identity is a grinded-out type of team, and we may see more games like this, I'm okay with that as long as you're seeing consistent positive steps forward as the season progresses.
Game number 3 in the books. Final score, Notre Dame 22 and Vanderbilt 17. The Fighting Irish 3-0 and getting set for a road date against Wake Forest.
Inside Notre Dame Football is presented by TireRack.com and brought to you by Team Notre Dame partners Coca-Cola, Under Armour, and Gatorade. Inside Notre Dame Football is also brought to you by Vivid Seats, Canon, Xfinity, Nissan, Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, and SiriusXM.